running so long it's like alchemy.
Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. And that's the first thing you're gonna notice about Fultz, man. You can't speed him up. He moves at a pace that it's not fast, right? But it's not slow. It's just smooth and quick. And what that enables him to do is he's just devastating already in the pick and roll game, because a lot of these young guards, they fire off the screen so fast, the defender doesn't even have time to hesitate. They have to react. Fultz understands the pacing and the changing of speeds allows for indecision and miscommunication coming off pick and rolls. Now he's got a big frame for a guard, 6'4", 6'5"-ish with a barrel chest, which enables him to take contact when he gets to the rim. The problem is he's a 2-footed jumper, so it takes him longer to gather, and he may have some trouble early on finishing at the rim. But he's gonna get there early and often, man. He has what I like to compare to as a D-Wade spin move. Not a lot of guys use the spin move anymore because we have so many shooters, but he uses the D-Wade spin move as well as hesitations, and he's got the in and outs and all the dribble package you need to get to the rim. So he's gonna get to the foul line early and often despite probably struggling to actually finish the shots around the basket. But a huge advantage he has is if you look at these other prospects, you can clearly see what defenses are gonna yield, whether it be the outside shot or closing off the lanes. With Fultz, it's already pick your poison because he's smooth pulling up behind the screen, or he can use the screen, change pace, and pull up. So it's a pick your poison. You can't yield one or the other. He's gonna get buckets either way. And offensively, I think he's gonna be able to score from day one. Now defensively, he has all the physical tools, a near 7-foot wingspan, solid athleticism, and a very strong frame for a 19-year-old. Question with him will just simply be want. Again, he didn't play much in the summer league, so we haven't seen him guard too many NBA caliber players, missing a lot of matchups with Ball in the Pac-12 as well. But the physical tools are there. Is his motor high enough, and is the want there to compete on that end? We'll see what kind of habits he picks up amongst these young Philadelphia players. Now this last part is kind of a two-sided argument, okay? Because he's able to play off ball. I think his versatility is a positive. He's a 1 and a 2. He seems comfortable off the ball because he is a good catch and shoot player. Doesn't move a lot without the ball, but he's comfortable. But in that same breath, he's not a leader. And you've heard the question of if he's the #1 pick, how come Washington couldn't even sniff the tournament? He's very quiet, very reserved. He's not gonna be your vocal alpha leader. So he can fit nicely where it appears Ben Simmons is gonna be the point guard of that team. And you've already got a lot of big personalities, obviously with Embiid. Dario Saric appears to be an alpha as well, so he'll fit right in. But if you're looking for that lead alpha dog, that doesn't appear to be Fultz. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done and his aim is fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." Now, to the average basketball fan, the casual, if you will, you may tune in to see Lonzo Ball and say, "I don't get it, man. I don't see the hype." You know what I mean? He dribbles the ball up the court. He makes some pretty long passes, but I don't see a superstar. So let's jump right into his elite trait, which is obviously his passing, man. And there's a lot of good passers in the NBA at multiple positions, right? But what really sets Lonzo apart to me at such a young age is his anticipation. You see him pull down a rebound, and without a dribble, the ball's already in the air. It's almost like Peyton Manning in his prime, anticipating and throwing the ball into windows. And not only is he doing it, he's doing it with pinpoint accuracy. And Lonzo, he actually uses the pass like Steph uses the shot. And what I mean by that is, Steph can pretty much shoot it at any moment from anywhere on the floor, right? So anytime he kind of glances and hesitates up like he's gonna shoot, the defense has to respect that. And that's really the basis of all his moves to get where he wants to go. Ball does the same thing, only it's with the pass. He may pass it at any moment, at any place on the floor. So when he rocks back up with the ball as if he's gonna rip a pass, it freezes the defender and allows Ball to get where he wants to go on the court. Now his shot form has been well publicized. Everybody sees that funny style shot, the low release, but hey man, it goes in. And I have a theory on, well, I pretty much know it's a fact, man, because I coach my kids and I've coached a lot of kids. And the reason why the ball boys shoot with that holster, that hip form is LeVar, for all the training he did in their young age, he let them shoot from too far away at a young age. So you see it all the time when the little kids at the court, everybody wants to be Steph, they start shooting threes. Well, they don't have the power or hand size to hold the ball properly and shoot from that range. So what do? They sling it from their hip. And since these boys have been shooting probably since they could, hold a basketball, they all developed that form. VAR let those boys shoot threes probably at, I'm guessing, 7 and 8 years old. Therefore, that's how the funny style release was developed. That said, I'm not too worried about it, man. Is he going to be an elite shooter? No, but he's going to make it enough to the point where the defense has to respect it. Everybody made a lot of fuss over that initial summer league game. Where'd he go? 2 of 14, 2 of 13 or something like that. But what I liked was he kept shooting and he wasn't wearing it on his face. A lot of young guys under that spotlight, they go 2 of 13. You're going to see it written all over their face. And he kind of had the clay face, if you will. You just couldn't tell that he had been missing him. He wasn't wearing it. So I like that. Now, he does need extra space to get it off. Because the release is so low, he needs more separation when he steps back, that funny style step back. But he's going to shoot it well enough that it's going to be respectable and spread the floor for the Lakers. Now, defensively, I think he's going to be all right. At 6'6", again, the anticipation and timing does kind of carry over to that end of the floor, but my concern is his high center of gravity and his body. Now, all these guys are going to fill out. They're all young, but you can look at his frame and see that he's never going to be a strong-bodied guard, right? And in the Wild West, man, with a lot of these explosive guys, they're going to get below his hips, and he's going to have trouble trying to contain them. I do like his ability to play, team defense, and the length allows him to recover a bit, but he's never going to be a lockdown guy with the lack of strength and explosiveness. The artist is nothing without the gift, but the gift is nothing without the work. Jayson Tatum, he might be the most gifted player in this draft class. He just has the ability to make difficult things look easy. He's an effortless scorer with really impressive footwork for such a young player, man. But my concern is, and why I bring up the quote is, it's a double-edged sword, right? If it comes so easy, is he going to be willing to put in the work? Now, he's already developed somewhat of this Dirk Nowitzki, that one-footed fadeaway in the post. It's a much quicker shot than Dirk's, but it's kind of stunning when you see it. You're like, oh, that went in. And then you're like, oh, it went in again. And so he really has an advanced package of shots, albeit most of them from the mid-range and of high difficulty. He was just straight up getting buckets. But what I was most impressed with was his swagger and his confidence. He definitely has an it factor. You saw him kind of command the ball and want the ball in late game situations throughout the summer league. And at this point, his handles are suspect, but they're good enough. When the ball's swung to him on the weak side, he can put it down and finish at the rim with authority. But he's definitely going to have to work on the handle as far as beating guys off the dribble with it. He tends too often to settle for contested shots. Defensively, I was far less impressed, man. His motor, he kind of just cruises, and he wasn't aware. His help, he got caught in no man's land a lot in the games that I watched. Just like with Fultz, the physical tools are all there. It's just the want and then creating those habits. And that defensive culture in Boston will go a long way in helping him on that end of the court. But at the same time, that culture in Boston could stunt his growth. With the depth they have, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and so many interchangeable pieces in that Brad Stevens offense, he's going to build a lot of good habits. But Tatum, like I said, he strikes me as an alpha, an it guy. He wants the ball a lot, and he may struggle to play as a role player and not get that many touches or be the vocal point of an offense. All right, y'all. So the way I see this is Jayson Tatum is the safest of the 3 picks. He has a defined skill and he's a natural scorer. But I do feel his ceiling is the lowest. Now, you can get a lot better at dribbling and you can get a lot better at shooting and even some defense, right? But I feel like playmaking and creating for others is one of those traits that is just natural. I don't think you can develop it that much. You know, if you had 5 5-year-olds, okay, and they all came into a room with their own toys, you would have a couple that would just naturally kind of share and socialize with the other kids. And then you'd have little Russ in the corner and he would just all to himself, right? Now, fast forward that 20 years later, they're all 25 years old. Not much has changed. That's my feeling on that. It's just a natural thing and it translates to basketball. So Tatum, sure thing, he's probably going to get you 20 and 5 throughout the height of his career. But just like you see in the NFL, you see this every year. You got a surefire linebacker or defensive end, but the less talented quarterback gets drafted ahead of him because everybody's looking for a quarterback. And that's what Lonzo Ball is, okay? You know what I mean? His skill set is just more rare. It's more unique. And so to me, you got to take Lonzo number one, whether you're Boston, LA, or Philadelphia. That's who I'm taking. And then Markelle Fultz, man, he's a quarterback as well, but he's kind of like, he's like a scrambling quarterback because I do question if his body is going to hold up. You know what I'm saying? My spidey senses went off when Boston traded that pick because we all know how thorough Danny Ainge is, and he doesn't have the greatest draft history, but it was like they worked him out and then they moved the pick. If he was, I think that there's a question about his motor, his love of the game, you know what I mean? And then his knees, he has a soft physique and his playing style, a 2-footed planter. So if I were retaking this draft, I go Ball 1, Tatum 2, and Fultz 3. Y'all let me know what you think, man. I'm going to be back with some more prospect videos. For now, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.